everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be starting yet another reading vlog, but it's going to be the first full reading vlog that I get to film in my new place, which I'm super excited about. I feel like I just keep saying I'm super excited to do everything in my new place, but I am. So I thought this week it would be fun to do a little bit of a reading challenge, but like a low-key reading challenge. It's not going to be anything crazy because I don't want to do anything crazy. But recently I found that I've really been missing the act of physical reading. I've been doing a lot of audiobook reading. I read an ebook last week, but it's been a minute since I just sat down and physically read a book, probably like 3 weeks or something crazy. So this week I decided it would be fun to do a challenge that kind of like forces me to sit down and read physical books. So this week I'm going to be trying to read 100 pages a day physically. That is my goal. I have done challenges like this before. I've done a challenge before, like 5 years ago or something, where I read like 100 pages, and I've done challenges like this up to like 250. Did I do 250 pages a day? No, I feel like maybe it was 200. 250 would be absolutely insane. And I'm not there right now. But I thought 100 pages seemed manageable. It seemed like a great way to do some physical reading, get through some books on my June TBR. So I thought this would be really fun. So let me show you the books that I'm thinking about reading this week. Obviously I'm not gonna finish these because like, yeah, I know. But before we get into that, I do quickly want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, who is Pair Eyewear. I am super excited to be working again with Pair on today's video. If you guys don't know what Pair is though, they are a super fun eyewear company that offers kind of a new approach to wearing glasses. And basically how it works is you choose a base pair of frames like I'm wearing right now, and they have these magnetic toppers that just kind of like magnetize right onto your lenses to kind of like change up your look whenever you want to, which I truly just think is so fun. Also, glasses are so expensive for literally no reason, but Pair is a really great affordable option with their base frame starting at just $60, and then you can get all the magnetic toppers, and it's kind of like you have a bunch of different pairs of glasses without the price. It's also super easy to order online. They have this little try-on tool on their website that you can use to see how the frames are gonna look on your face before you buy them. And they also offer free shipping and free returns to the US. Now for my frames, I ended up choosing the Otis frames in crystal clear. I like how light and low contrast these are on my face. But if I want to change up my look on a given day, I did select 2 of their toppers. I have them in tortoiseshell and then also just like a classic black. Obviously these are kind of boring options, but I feel like they fit my style really well. But they have so many other fun colors and patterns and textures for their toppers if you want to check those out. One of my favorite things that they offer though are their sun tops, so you can have a pair of prescription sunglasses without having to buy a whole other pair of glasses. And again, I went for like a very classic black sunglass option, but they have so many other sunglass toppers as well. So if you guys want to check out Pair, I would highly recommend doing so. I just think they're such a fun eyewear company trying to do something different. So if you are at all interested in anything that you have heard today, I will leave a link to them down in the description, and you can click that link in the description to shop Pair Eyewear and use the code katieisreadingyt15 to get a free gift with purchase. So thank you so much to Pair for sponsoring this video and supporting me and my channel, and thank you so much to those of you that are watching this video for always supporting me and my channel. Your support truly means the absolute world to me, and I would not be able to do this if it were not for you guys. So thank you so much, and let's get back to the reading vlog. All right, let me talk about my reading plans for this week. As I said, I'm going to be trying to tick off some books from my June TBR. I've been failing so miserably with my monthly TBRs so far this year that I am determined to do a good job with my June TBR. So I'm going to be reading a couple of classics this week, and then for the third book, I think I know what I want to start for it. I'm gonna like start it but not be able to finish it probably. So the last one's like a bit open to interpretation when I get there, but let me show you the 2 books that I will for sure be reading this week. The first one being Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. I picked this one out for my June TBR, and I've been really excited about it ever since. Even though I don't think this is like a good June read necessarily, I think it takes place in November. I think it's very like cold, gloomy, on the Cornish moors, but I kind of want that vibe in my life right now because it's about to get really hot, and I'm not excited about that. So I'm gonna think about the better, spookier, cozier times of year while reading Jamaica Inn. I don't really know much else about this aside from it's like a thriller-ish sort of book, but I'm excited about this one nonetheless, so I will be starting with this one, and it's only about 3. Am I starting with this one? No, I don't know if I'm gonna start with this one, but I will be reading this one, and this one is about 300 pages, so it should take me 3 days, theoretically. Daisy's over here being annoying, so we're gonna make her say hello. She's so happy to be in the video. She's not. Then the next one is definitely more of a good like springy, summery read, and that is A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. This one I know we're following. I have a mirror over there, and she's like, just doing that. This one I believe takes place in Italy. Our main character, Lucy, is going to Italy for the summer and they're gonna challenge her repressed Edwardian morals or something to that effect. So I'm really excited about this one too. Sorry, I don't even know what Daisy's doing over there. I'm really excited about this one and it's a short one, so I thought it would be a good pick for this week as well. It is about 200 pages, so theoretically, it should take me 2 days to read. And then for the last book, as I said, it's a bit like, maybe I'll change my mind once we get there, but right now I'm thinking I'd like to read some of The Way of Kings. Obviously I will not be finishing this week, but I need to start my reread of it. And it's been so long since I read this the first time. I feel like I can give you guys maybe like new thoughts and feelings on it. I don't know. I do have a vlog from 2021 where I read this for the first time. If you want to check that out. Can't say it's a very good vlog. I feel like I've come a long way in the way that I talk about books. Not that I'm perfect now, but like truly my vlogs were like 20 minutes long each in 2021 and I said like nothing about the books. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of like maybe revlog my experience starting this book and share it with you guys. So maybe I will read 200 pages out of this book. I don't know, but 700 pages should be read this week. That is my goal. I'm sorry. I have a closet right here and Daisy wants in so bad. There's nothing like in it that's of interest to her. She's just so curious and annoying. But yes, these are my reading plans for the week. It feels kind of doable, but it also feels like a little bit of a challenge because we have like some classics. We have like a big boy, maybe. But I'm really excited to get into this challenge and just do a lot of physical reading. I feel like it'll bring me a lot of peace, honestly, which I need in my life right now. So yes, that is my hope for the week, that we can finish 2 books, start a 3rd. But also I feel like in this vlog I'm gonna get back to the normal stuff that I do in my vlogs. My last vlog that I posted was like moving vlog, a little bit different. But this week I want to do some journaling. I'm gonna do my June reading journal setup because I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna do some knitting. I'm gonna maybe catch up in my Hobonichi. It has been weeks since I caught up in my Hobonichi. So hopefully I can do a couple of weeks in my Hobonichi and we're just gonna do some chilling. Maybe I'll spend some time outside. It's gonna be a little bit hot, but it might be okay. So yeah, without further ado, it is time to get into the video. I do have an appointment that I have to go to this morning, but hopefully later this afternoon, I can get into, am I starting with this one? I think I'm gonna start with the room with a view. I feel like we should start with a short one because I think it's supposed to rain this weekend and I feel like that would be a better vibe to read Jamaica in during. You know what I mean? So we're gonna start with a room with a view. Very excited about this one. Hope you guys enjoy the vlog. Hope you enjoyed the little reading challenge. I am super excited. So let's go. Daisy is coming to say hello, of course. You're just gonna stand there? Oh, you're gonna sit there? Oh, you're so cute. All right, so it may or may not be like Friday now. I started this book very, very briefly on Tuesday, and then I got super busy this week. So I'm kind of like restarting the challenge a little bit. I read like 10 pages maybe on Tuesday, and then today I've read like 100 more. So I'm on page 110, and we are just gonna start the challenge from here on out. So we can just like pretend that didn't happen basically. But I've been having a super nice week, honestly. It's been busy in a good way, which I am happy that is the case for once. I have been like filming other videos. I thrifted a table for my little like dining area over there, which has been super nice. I've been on the lookout for one for a really long time, and I finally found one with my captain's chairs. I was talking about the captain's chair. Was I talking about the captain's chairs in my last video? I think I was, but I really wanted a table that had captain's chairs, and I found one. It's beautiful. I would show it to you guys at like some other point in time, but that honestly took up like so much of yesterday because like I had to get the table and the chairs, bring it here. I had to like disinfect them as well because it was like super dirty, and it just like ate up the whole afternoon, evening, honestly. But so happy that I have it, and then I was able to thrift it. So that's awesome. And as I said, I will show you that at some other point in this video. And I want to make like little like chair cushions for it. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. But that's not what we're here to talk about. I'm here to give you guys an update on A Room with a View. Are you, she just looks so funny back there. I'm here to give you guys an update on A Room with a View. I'm on page 110 of this book, so I have like 100 pages left basically, so it'll be perfect. I can finish this up tomorrow and we'll be back on track, guys. But I have been kind of liking this one so far. I am not liking it maybe as much as I was expecting to, but there are a lot of aspects of this book that I am really enjoying, so I'd say I'm having a decent time with it so far. I think the main thing that I really like about it so far is E.M. Forster's writing. Like, it's just beautiful, honestly, especially with like Italy as the subject, because this does take, well, the first part of it takes place in Florence. So much beauty to describe, and even just the way that he's talking about like the themes of the book and the way he chooses to portray them, I'm really enjoying that so far. But to backtrack, to let you guys know like what this book is about, we are following our main character, Lucy Honeychurch. Truly, like, think of a more quaint name. I don't really think you can. And she is on a trip to Florence with her cousin Charlotte. And the very first chapter of this book is called A Room with a View. So they started out in this like hotel that they're staying at with a room that doesn't have a view of like the beauty of Italy and whatever. And somebody offers them their room, which has a view. And it's kind of introducing this whole theme of the book of Lucy's expanding worldview and all of these new experiences, kind of opening her eyes and her horizons as she is like on this trip, which I really, really enjoy that as like the setup for this book. Because while she's in Italy, she's experiencing all of these new things, all of these new people, good and bad. She literally sees somebody get like stabbed, which I was not expecting. But it's just such a stark difference from her life back in England, where she's very like reserved, she's very sheltered, she's very protected by like her mother and her brother and all of these people in her life. But now that she's in Italy and she's meeting all of these new people and she's learning so much about them and experiencing like different social classes of people and all of this stuff, she's just like, you know, you can tell like she wants to break away from this mold that she has been formed in her entire life. And it's really satisfying, honestly, to see her like want those things for herself. As I said, I really like the way that E.M. Forster has been writing about this. I haven't been like, you know, tabbing the book or anything, but I've been, you know, like highlighting some stuff. This one I feel like really sums up like Lucy as a person and why she needs this like reality check almost. It says, this solitude oppressed her. She was accustomed to have her thoughts confirmed by others or, at all events, contradicted. It was too dreadful not to know whether she was thinking right or wrong. So she's definitely been growing up with like very rigid, you know, like social norms, very rigid ideas of how a woman should behave and what she should be thinking and how she should be thinking about things. But when she got to Italy, you know, like she had a little bit less supervision. She still had a chaperone, but like her mother wasn't there, like being overbearing basically. And it's just been really nice to experience that. I've really, really enjoyed that part. I also just really love E.M. Forster's writing in general. As I said, you know, Italy, stunning subject to be writing about, obviously. And there have been some beautiful lines that I was just like, wow, I wish I would have written that, honestly. There's this part where Lucy steps out onto like a terrace that's like full of violets, I think, and it is so beautiful. And I'm gonna read more to you guys, I'm so sorry, but it says, from her feet the ground sloped sharply into the view, and violets ran down in rivulets and streams in cataracts, irrigating the hillside with blue eddying round the tree stems, collecting into pools in the hollows, covering the grass with spots of azure foam. But never again were they in such profusion. This terrace was the wellhead, the primal source whence beauty gushed out to water the earth. I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh yes, thank you. That is so beautiful, honestly. And I am really sad because now in part 2 of the book, we're not in Italy anymore. We're back in England, we're back to normal life. We're kind of seeing the, you know, like fallout of this Italy adventure that Lucy went on. Apparently she has this fiance back home whose name is Cecil Weiss, which I think it's, well, like it's something Weiss, but I think it's hilarious that his last name is Weiss. A little on the nose, but I do still appreciate that. But he's a big bore snooze fest, honestly. So I'm kind of curious to see what we're doing about that, because Lucy did also meet a man. He's like an English man, but like a man back in Italy. So I'm like, I feel like he's gonna show up. I feel like George is gonna show up, shake some things up. I'm a little bit interested to see where that's gonna go. I feel like honestly, the more that I'm talking about this, the more excited I am to read the second half of it. Like, I've been liking it, but I haven't been loving it so far. But like, I have a lot of questions. A lot of questions that I'm really excited to get the answers to. So that is kind of how A Room with a View has been going so far. I'm enjoying it, and it does really feel like the perfect early June read, especially the parts where we were in Italy. I'm sad that we're not in Italy anymore. But yeah, as I said, I have like 100 pages left, so I will be reading that tomorrow to fulfill the rest of my challenge for tomorrow. So that'll be super fun. And my other plan for tomorrow, which I cannot wait for, is tomorrow I'm going flower shopping. I have been so excited to go flower shopping ever since I found out I would have like an area in my apartment to have flowers. I have like a balcony, terrace, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna be decking it out with flowers. Probably way too many flowers, honestly. I feel like I'm gonna be going ham, honestly, buying some flowers tomorrow. But I'm considering it kind of like my, you know, treat to myself for just like everything that has been going on this year. I'm gonna go spend way too much money on flowers. And it's gonna be stunning. And I'm gonna take you guys along with me. And it kind of sounds like the perfect day tomorrow. Going to buy some flowers, finish up A Room with a View. Sounds like a stunning early June day. Hope you guys are excited. Day 1 of the challenge is now officially done. We're restarting and everything is fine. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow when I'm hopefully buying too many flowers. All right, so it is now Sunday morning and I'm back with a reading update. I did read my 100 pages yesterday, which was great. Of course, Daisy's choosing right now to rage at the closet door. I don't know. I guess she can just hang out in there for the time being. she's just gonna keep doing it, so I don't know what to do. But yeah, I read my 100 pages yesterday, and then I also did all of my flower shopping yesterday, which was so fun, guys. Like, I spent way too much money on flowers, but I had the best time, honestly. I went for a little like pink, orange, and yellowy scheme for the most part. I didn't really stick to it like that closely, but like that was my aim for my flowers. And I think they look really lovely in all of their pots, honestly, and it was so fun. Oh, I also got 3 tomato plants, so I'm going to be trying to grow my own food in a very small, controlled way. I don't really know how they're gonna do in pots. I know you can grow tomatoes in pots, but I don't know if my pots are big enough for the tomatoes. But we're just gonna give it a try, and if it doesn't work, the plants were only like $3. So, but that was great, honestly. I had the best time. I cannot wait to get into some more gardening. Hopefully I do not kill all of my beautiful flowers. But yeah, I can't wait to see them hopefully bloom throughout the summer. We'll see. I don't know. But also yesterday, aside from the reading, which I'll give you the reading update in a moment, I did also get some book mail, which I'm so excited about. I have been talking about how I wanted to get these 4 books for so long, honestly, and I am now finally the proud owner of all of the seasonal Brambley Hedge books, and they're so cute. The only problem is I don't know how to read descriptions of things, because I bought these off of eBay and I did not realize that they were like the little guys, which like I love the little guys, don't get me wrong. But the version of The Secret Staircase that I have is not a little guy. And I was thinking these would be the same size, so like this much bigger basically, you know? So when I got the package and it was like this small, I was like, oh man, I messed up. But honestly, the little ones are so cute that I don't even care, and I'm okay with the fact that these are the ones that I now own because I love them so much. So we have Spring Story, which I've yet to read. I need to, should I read this week? Maybe I'll read Spring Story this week. How many pages is it? I can probably just like add it on to my total one day. It doesn't have page numbers. You know what? I'll find a version that has page numbers, and I will use this to supplement my reading one of these days. But we have a Spring Story. It's so cute. We have Summer Story. I love all of the green on this one. It's just, they're just adorable, honestly. Winter Story. Love the blue, obviously. And then I saved the best one for last. We have Autumn Story. Look at this. Oh my God, I cannot, it's just so freaking cute. I love the Brambley Hedge puzzles, books, whatever, stories so much, and I'm so happy that I found these on eBay. I've been looking for like a set of the 4 of them for a really long time, and like they have some on eBay, but they always use like stock photos for the like images or whatever on them, and I do not trust the stock photos in the slightest. So when I saw there was like an actual photo of the actual books that I would be getting, I was like, thank you, yeah, those are mine. And I love them so dearly, honestly. And I need to find a good spot for them on my shelves. I do think I want to do a little bit of like bookshelf situating today. Not really like reorganizing, because I organized so recently, I cannot reorganize. But I have, you know, like these 4 books. And then I went book shopping recently, which you guys saw in my video last week. And I have, this is so loud, I'm sorry, all of these books that I also need to find places for on my bookshelf. So I might do that today. We'll see. But let me get back to what we're actually here to talk about, because I did finish up A Room with a View and I didn't love it, honestly. Going into the second half, you know, like I had a lot of questions. I was starting to get like a little bit more excited about it, but I like just really didn't end up caring that much about this book. I fell asleep multiple times while trying to read this book, which I feel like is not a, you know, a good sign for my enjoyment of the story anyway. I must say though, some really good naps did come out of me reading this book, but like the book itself, I just wasn't really a huge fan of, honestly. And I think my main problem with that stems from like the romance that is present in this book, because you have Lucy and like her fiance Cecil, but then you also have George, who she met when she was in Italy, and she's having all of these conflicting feelings about him, but like she ends up realizing that she loves him and she needs to follow her heart instead of doing what society thinks she needs to do and like marry Cecil, who is a well-bred guy, whatever. And I feel like that would have been a good story, like conceptually great, love it. Execution wise, her and George had like 3 interactions before this whole like falling in love business happened, and 2 of them were him forcing himself upon her, and I was like, you know, maybe she's into it, but like there was no consent there. And they were just like weird scenes, honestly. Like I just didn't buy this love story that they were supposed to have going on that was kind of like carrying the plot of this book. I understand what we were trying to do, but like for me personally, it really just wasn't working. Like conceptually, I like this book. I like everything that this book is trying to do, but I don't know, it just didn't really end up working out for me. I just thought Lucy was acting a bit immature through the whole book, and like she is young, but the whole point of this book is her coming of age and taking what she wants from life now that she's older and has like a little bit more agency. So seeing her be like, I'm in love with George and blah 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 blah, I was like, girl, no you're not. I feel like this would have worked really well if they had more interactions while they were in Italy, but like they literally did not. So ultimately, A Room with a View, theme wise, great. Execution wise, not so much. I also did decide to watch the movie, which I also did not like. I must say though, like Cecil in the movie, so funny, star of the show, loved him so much. And it made reading the rest of the book so much more enjoyable because like every time Cecil would do something, I'm like, wait, that's kind of funny though. Like obviously Cecil's the worst and he's like patronizing and boring and annoying, but the actor, I think it's Daniel Day-Lewis who plays him in the movie, really like brought something to that character and I really liked Cecil. So those are kind of my thoughts on A Room with a View, the book and the movie. Both were kind of like, I don't know. So yeah, it is now Sunday. I have not done any reading today. I finished this up yesterday and I haven't really done any reading today and I need to figure out what I'm gonna read today. So I could start, it's on the floor here, Jamaica Inn, but like I think I need a wee break from reading classics right now because A Room with a View really was not loving that. I want to choose something different. I also really don't want to read The Way of Kings. So I need to choose something different. I don't know exactly what I want that to be yet. I have some ideas. I could maybe start A Treachery of Swans. That is my Patreon buddy read this month and it would be good to start that. I was thinking maybe I could start Electra by Jennifer Saint, which is kind of a random pick, I know, but I have been meaning to read that one this year as well. But let me take a look at my shelves and see if there's anything else I might want to start. I feel like I need something kind of short because I do still want to read Jamaica Inn in its entirety in this video. I just don't want to start it today. Actually, do you know what I'm thinking I should maybe start, especially because it's a little bit on the shorter end and I could maybe finish it this week as well as finish Jamaica Inn? Let me grab it. I could finally read Piranesi like I keep saying I'm going to. This one is, I think it's around 250 pages maybe? It is 244 pages. So I might start this one today. I feel like this could be a good option because like it's different. I feel like it'll be engaging. I have started it previously. I made it like 50 pages in and then I proceeded to not continue it, but like right now might be the time to continue it. So I might read Piranesi today. Start it at least. It sounds fun. I feel like this is a good choice. I'm excited about this, so. Yeah, a little bit of a change in the reading plans, but I did say The Way of Kings was subject to change, and it's just, there's so many words on the pages. Reading 100 pages out of The Way of Kings is like reading 200 pages out of any other book, so I don't want to do that right now. So I feel like Piranesi is a good option. So that's where we're gonna start today. Yeah, what else am I doing today? I'm gonna get my shelf sorted, put my books away. I'll have a little DIY project that I'm getting. It's not really much of a DIY, honestly, but I wanna make some fridge magnets and I thrifted a game of Scrabble and I'm gonna make fridge magnets out of the Scrabble pieces. So I'm thinking I might do that. But for now, I'm going to put some books on my bookshelves. So let's do it. So I am back. It is Monday morning, and I do indeed have a reading update for you because I read my 100 pages of Piranesi yesterday, and I am absolutely loving it so far. I don't know if it's gonna be a 5-star read. Hello, Daisy. But there have been like some moments while I've been reading this book, I'm like, could it be a 5-star read? I don't know, like I'm getting like a little bit of the 5-star tinglies, you know what I mean? And it's just been so weird, but so like magical, transportive, beautiful, stunning, honestly. Like I love the writing, I love the story. I'm so intrigued with where things are going. We've been getting, you know, little hints and information that are kind of leading to the overall picture of what's going on. And I just have so many questions in the best possible way, honestly. And I'm really happy that I did not push through with Piranesi the first time that I was trying to read it, because I was not feeling this way about it the first time that I read it. But now that I am 100 pages in, I'm on page 101 right now, I'm just absolutely loving it so much. And if I wasn't so tired last night when I was reading it, I probably would have read more, but like I hit that 100 pages and I was out, let me tell you. But today, I think I would like to try and finish it up today because I'm just loving it so much. But to give you guys a little bit of an idea, I'm gonna give you like a small idea of what this book is about, because I feel like this is the kind of book that is really good to go into with very little information about it. It just feels like the kind of book that you need to go into and just experience what's going on, because I feel like it's a slow unraveling of information as the book progresses, and that's what makes it so good. But in this book, we are following our main character, whose name may or may not be Piranesi, and he is in this house, as he describes it. And there are many different rooms in this house, many different levels of this house. There are a lot of weird things in this house. And it is this very, very large house that he is in. And through his journal entries, which is how this book is mainly written, he keeps like a bunch of journals of his time in the house. And he records various observations, a lot of the different journal entries, you know, maybe moving the plot forward, but they may be kind of focusing on this smaller scale, just weird aspect of his life and his experiences. There is another person in the house as well who he sometimes interacts with, and they have a very interesting dynamic. And while the story does kind of seem a little bit meandering at first, that's kind of why I've been loving it so far. I have heard this book be slightly compared to The Starless Sea, and I do think I would agree with that. Not so much in like plot or characters or anything like that, but the way that you are given information and the kind of weird, unsettling, you just have absolutely no idea what's going on feeling very much gives me the same feelings that I had when I was reading The Starless Sea. So I'd say if you like The Starless Sea, you should give this one a try. Again, like they're not similar, but they are similar. If that makes any sense. So I'm loving all of that, but I'm also just loving the writing. I'm loving the tone of this book. It definitely has a very like haunting, unsettling atmosphere to it, which I absolutely love, because you're just in this endless house full of all of these weird statues, and you're not sure what any of it means, how our characters ended up here, what exactly the purpose of this house is, and is it sentient? I don't know. I feel like the one word I would use to describe this book is weird. but in a great way, honestly. Like I feel like, you know, weird books are hit or miss. I feel like sometimes I really, really love a weird book, but sometimes like weird books just aren't gonna hit. But like this is a weird book that I'm absolutely loving so far. Like I cannot wait to read some more of this today. It makes me really excited to read more of Susanna Clarke's work. I'm gonna read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell later this year, which I'm a little bit scared for, honestly, but excited nonetheless. I know it's not gonna be like a similar vibe. I feel like they definitely have very different vibes, but just like the storytelling approach and the writing and the prose, absolutely loving it so far. So good, which I'm really happy about because I was not, you know, feeling this way the first time that I read this book. And this is kind of how I was expecting to feel about the book. Absolutely loving it. Cannot wait to read more, honestly. Like I feel like this could be a 5-star read. I don't know. Haven't had a 5-star read in a couple of months, so that'd be really awesome if it was. But even if it's not, I'm still just having the best time, honestly. Also, the back of this book is blurred by Madeline Miller and Erin Morgenstern. That's how you know it's a good book. Like it just feels like the kind of book that I needed to read right now, which is so random because like I wasn't planning on reading this at the start of this video, but I just saw it on my shelves and was like, yeah, I could read Pure Nessie right now. And it is stunning so far. Like I love it. I love the characters. I love our main character that we're following. He's a whimsical dude, let me tell you. Like if I was in this situation completely alone, not knowing what's going on, I'd be losing my mind. And like maybe he has lost his mind, but he still has this wonder and kind of like reverence for this house that he's in, which is just a really, I don't want to say like delightful, but it's almost endearing in the way that he is so just like amazed by everything around him. And like he loves the birds and the fish and like all of this stuff. And it's just been going so good so far. And I will be reading the rest of this today. Like I don't think I can not know what's going on. I have like 140 pages left, so that will be my plan for today. Yeah, honestly, no notes. I don't think I have any notes. Daisy, do you have any notes? Oh my god, she looks so cute. Look at her, she's so cute. Oh my gosh. You see the little face? Anyway, that's the end of the update. I just wanted to tell you that Pure Nessie is stunning. right, hello and welcome to the workshop, aka my dining room. Of course, the second I start filming this, my AC turns on, but it's fine. I'm here to give you guys a very echoey update. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with the sound on my videos, because back in my parents' house, you know, like everything sounded just fine. It's an old house. I had a lot of stuff on the walls. I had a lot of stuff in my room, a lot of sound dampening. In here, not so much. That is not happening. It's very echoey. So I might get like a tiny mic at some point. I feel like I might need one, but for now we're just gonna work with what we have because there's really nothing I can do. I guess I could try to record the sound on my phone. I wonder if that would sound better. I don't know, I guess we'll give this a try. Does this sound any better? Thoughts, opinions, let me know how that goes. But I'm here. Girl, what are you doing? Daisy's looking out the window. But I'm here in my dining room area to give you guys a couple of updates. Also, as you can see, I have painter's tape on the wall right now. Don't worry, I'm not doing any painting in my apartment that I do not own. But I'm putting up shelves tomorrow, which I'm super excited about. I have this like plant stand and like it's doing the thing I have a problem with right now. I have an air vent like right there that is blowing directly on my plants, which I am very aware is going to kill my plants so quickly. So I just keep like moving it out of the way every time the air turns on, which is not exactly ideal, I guess. But I got this really, still blowing on it. But I know that the cold air is going to dry the hell out of my plants and murder them, and I simply cannot do that because I got this very beautiful, I think it's a satin pothos the other day. I am obsessed with this. I just think it's so gorgeous. And if it dies, I will be super sad about that, I'm not gonna lie. So that is why I need shelves in my life. So I've been like kind of mapping out where I think I want the shelves to go. I've been tapping on the wall like a crazy person trying to figure out if I can find the studs. I did buy a stud finder, but it's not gonna get here until tomorrow. So like for now, I've just been like, oh, you hear that difference? I know where the studs are now. I think it's a pretty standard 16 inches apart. That's what the internet told me, and that's kind of what it sounds like every time I tap on the wall at 16-inch intervals. So yeah, I have my dad coming over tomorrow to help me put up the shelves. I got these really gorgeous wall brackets that I spent way too much money on, but these are like an investment piece and I just love them so much. So I have 6 of these bad boys, and then to keep things cheap as far as like the shelves went, I went to Lowe's earlier today and I just bought like some basic wood, which I had them cut in half for me into like 3 feet segments. And then the fun part, I get to sand them and stain them and seal them, which I'm not excited about, but it's much, much cheaper than buying pre-finished shelves. So it kind of all balances out in the end. Anyway, you guys did not come here for like my shelf update, but I wanted to tell you all of the hard work that I've been doing today. And I also wanted to tell you why I've not done any reading today, and it is 8:13. So I'm not gonna say it's not doable for me to read my 100 pages today, but I am making it super hard for myself, I must say. But you know what, in the face of adversity, we flourish. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I've not started reading any of Jamaica In yet, but that is still my plan for today. I'm gonna sit my ass on the couch and I'm gonna do some reading tonight. It's always super exciting to start a book, and like the beginning of this kind of, it already sounds stunning, honestly. It says it was a cold gray day in late November. The weather had changed overnight when a backing wind brought a granite sky and a mizzling rain with it. And although it was now only a little after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the pallor of the winter evening seemed to have closed upon the hills, cloaking them in mist. Beautiful, honestly. I love the writing already. And this is really what I need because today we've been having a heat advisory. It is so hot outside. It's like 95 degrees. It's only the beginning of June. Anyway, I cannot get into me raging about the weather, but I'm gonna read my 100 pages tonight. Also, if you can hear Daisy nibbling over there, please don't mind. However, I do have a more exciting update for you as opposed to just like I haven't started reading yet, because I have finished a book. I finished 2 books. I have a couple books to talk to you about, but I finished up Pure Nessie and I think I'm gonna have to give it 5 stars. Honestly, like I just loved my time reading this so much. The second half of this book definitely went in some directions that I was not expecting, but I feel like honestly the entirety of this book just went in many directions that I was not expecting. So I kind of loved it for that. I feel like this book was keeping me on my toes, and it's just the kind of book that had me enamored from page 1. I had to know more. I had to know more about this house, about our characters, about why they're there, how they got there. Everything about that was just like so great. And the way that you find out the information, like the slow kind of trickle of a reveal that you get as you progress towards the end of the book was just so well done. And I loved how everything tied together. Like, after finishing this book, I definitely, even more so now, see why this book is compared to The Starless Sea. Like, definitely get it. Again, like, they're really not the same, but like they are super similar in some aspects as well. So I'm not really surprised that I like this one, because I absolutely love The Starless Sea for it being just like so confusing and weird, and like this one definitely hits on that as well. But I feel like it kind of has a more melancholic, unsettling vibe to it at times, but it's not like a melancholic book necessarily. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I loved the vibe of this book so much. It's just like so haunting, but there's also just like this joy to it almost, which I don't know how to describe. Like, honestly, I don't know how to articulate my thoughts on this book. It was just so interesting. And I love Susanna Clarke's writing so much. I just thought it was so, like, it's not necessarily like purpley prose, it's not like over the top or anything, but she just has like a really nice writing style. And I loved how she used that to kind of speak through this character, because this book is kind of an epistolary novel, so like it's written completely in his journal entries. And I feel like she was able to craft a really great narrative voice for our main character. Like, I feel like so much of his personality came through in the way that he was describing things and the way that he viewed the world and the house. And it was, I just really loved all of it, honestly. And like the ending of it very much gave me Starless Sea vibes, not in like, I don't know how to describe it, like not in the way that the books end, because like they don't really end in the same way, but like the feeling that I got when I read like the last journal entry of this book, really, like I really felt like I was feeling the exact same things as I was feeling when I was reading some of the pages of The Starless Sea. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm doing a terrible job at explaining it. But I just feel like it made me nostalgic for, you know, like places I've never been, times that I've never lived in, things like that. Like, I don't even know. Just something about the writing. It was just so, I don't even know. But like, it was so good. Like, I love it when I feel like this about a book. And this book is just, she's beautiful. She's stunning. I love Piranesi, and I'm super excited to read more from Susanna Clarke. I know they're not going to be like, you know, similar to this, but her ideas and her storytelling and her characters, I just loved them all so much. So I'm super interested to see what I think of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, as well as, I think she has a short story collection. I cannot remember what it's called. It has flowers on the cover. Something about some ladies. I don't know what it's called. But I'll probably have to pick that up as well, because like, I just need more of this. Please and thank you. Definitely had to give it 5 stars. I've not given a book 5 stars since I think I read A Ghastly Catastrophe in March. It's been like 2 months now. So I'm really happy that I had another 5-star read, and that I was just, like, my love for reading, I feel, has been a little bit reinvigorated after reading this book, which is amazing, honestly, because I feel like, you know, I've been reading some good books recently, but none of them have really been wowing me, but like this one was just so different in a really great way. So yeah, really loved Piranesi. Would recommend it if you like weird books. I feel like I know a lot of people don't like this book, and I understand that, because like it's a weird book. But this was just like perfect for me. Oh my god, it was so good. And then, as I said, I have also finished another book, because I was listening to an audiobook on the side. Obviously, I've been wanting to focus on like physical reading this week, so that's mainly what I've been like talking about. But I've been doing a lot of stuff in my apartment, so I've been listening to a lot of things this week, so I decided to pick up another thriller audiobook. I've actually started another book too. We have a lot of reading updates, hang on. I read, or I listened to the entirety of Her Last Breath by Taylor Adams. This is just another thriller about a girl that gets trapped in a cave and somebody's trying to murder her. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a pretty good time. Definitely like spooky cave vibes, kind of. I feel like if I want a good like spooky cave story, I probably need to read like a horror book that is set in a cave, as opposed to like a thriller that is set in a cave. But this one definitely had like a lot of twists and turns. Our main character like goes into this cave, she goes spelunking, which also I've learned that apparently spelunking is not a cool term. One of the characters in the book said that using the term makes you look like a nerd. But they're going caving, I guess you could say. Her and her best friend, who's like this super mega famous travel influencer, whatever, and you know, obviously they have like some history or whatever. So you're unraveling that information as the book goes along. I was like decently entertained by it, honestly. Would I consider it a favorite thriller by any stretch of the imagination? No. But I had a pretty good time, I would say. Like, it does what I want it to. Both of the Taylor Adams books that I've read recently have done what I wanted them to. Like, they're entertaining, I'm into the story, but like, is not the most amazing thing that I've ever read. This one definitely had like some good twists and turns though, I must say. I feel like there were definitely some points throughout the book where, you know, I was shocked. Because when I read thrillers, I don't really try to puzzle them out, honestly. A, I'm not very good at it, and B, it's always more fun when things take me off guard. So there were definitely like, you know, some reveals throughout the book where I was just like, I was sweeping my floors, whatever, and I was like, oh my God, you know, like that's exactly what I want from a thriller. Love that with a thriller. So I read Her Last Breath, and like it was pretty good. And then I've also started another book, another thriller, because I just want my thriller audiobooks while I'm doing stuff around the apartment, you know what I mean? So I started reading Summer's Never Over by Darcy Bozeman, I believe. I think this one came out today, actually. It was one of my book of the month picks, so I was like, I should listen to this because it sounds like a great summer thriller. And so far, it has been a great summer thriller. It's about this girl who works at a summer camp. Her parents own the summer camp, but she also like works at the summer camp. And we have like a dual timeline situation going on, which I always love a dual timeline. And we're bouncing back and forth between like now when our main character's mother recently passed away and like everything that's coming up with that and everything that's coming up with the death of a fellow camper like back in the day. So we're like also following that timeline and the lead up to that, I believe. And it's really all I could want out of a summer thriller, honestly, because it takes place at a summer camp. And we're following young adults who I'm assuming are about to do some dumb stuff in the woods or something to that effect, or dumb stuff near a lake. I don't know. But I'm not very far into this one. How far into it am I? I'm about 20%, I would say, through this one. And I said, like, it's a pretty good time so far. I'm liking it. It's doing what I want it to, honestly. I feel like I'm not very good about like talking about thrillers. I'm like, I don't know what else to say. So yeah, that's kind of the reading that I've been getting up to. I haven't been counting my audiobooks in my, you know, like page counts for the day because my personal aim with this challenge is to do more physical reading, but I thought I would tell you about the audiobooks because I am listening to them, and I'll probably finish up Summer's Never Over before the end of this challenge anyway, so maybe I'll have read 5 books in this video. That'd be kind of fun. But yeah, I feel like that's everything that I have to share with you guys for the time being. Plans for tonight: need to sit down and read Jamaica Inn. Katie, please do not fail the challenge. I only have 3 days left. But tomorrow we're gonna, you know, do some fun stuff. I'm gonna put up the shelves. I'm probably not gonna show you me putting up the shelves because honestly it sounds kind of stressful, but I will show you me decorating the shelves. I'm gonna like put my plants on it and some other stuff as well, so I feel like that'll be fun. And we'll see what else I get up to tomorrow. I don't know, it's Wednesday. I don't have any plans tomorrow, so hopefully I can do my reading like maybe earlier in the day. That's my goal. Do it before like 7. I feel like that's not that crazy of a goal. But yeah, I will see you guys in a couple of days probably with an update, hopefully on Jamaica Inn. So it is now Thursday afternoon and I'm back with some updates, some exciting updates, as well as some disappointing updates. Because the other day, not yesterday, but on Tuesday, I think it was, when I gave you guys the last update, and I was like, it's 7 p.m. and I haven't started reading yet, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It was indeed not fine. I think I ended up reading like 28 pages maybe. And then yesterday I did read a decent amount of this. I am like pretty far into the book now, but on Tuesday I failed. I failed so hard on Tuesday. Honestly, I don't know if this was the best week for me to choose to do this challenge because I am still like settling into my apartment. I still have like stuff that I'm doing. I've been waiting around for the maintenance man all week, which is not a good excuse for like not reading, because like theoretically I should have a lot of time to read, but like it stresses me out waiting for people to come for like appointments like to my place, you know what I mean? I'm just like on edge almost. So these are honestly just like a bunch of excuses. I failed, not miserably, but like I still did fail, and I wanted to let you guys know that. So it's very sad. However, I am still going to be finishing this book today. Now it might be like 4:30 at this point, and I haven't read a single page of this today, but we're gonna do it. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna finish up Jamaica Inn today because I really wanna see how this book is going to continue on. And we'll talk about this in a second because I have an update. I've been reading, I've been annotating, which has been a little bit fun. But first, I wanna show you guys some fun stuff that I got at the thrift store today. And it's all of these stamps. I have been out doing a little bit of shopping today. I've been getting like just random stuff that I need for my apartment. But I ran into the thrift store and some baddie was like getting rid of her stamp collection. Like, I don't know, but there's so many stamps at this thrift store. And I made out like a bandit. Let me tell you, like, look at all of these. I'm so excited. Obviously, I wanted to show them to you because I will be using these in my journals and I have many ideas, okay? So let me just show you the stamps that I got. First of all, we have these really fun Halloween stamps. Look at all of these. They are so cute. And I really like small stamps. I find small stamps much easier to work with, as you would expect, and much more versatile for the kind of spreads that I like to make. So I will be using these for spooky season. Maybe even for Summerween, I will bust some of these out, but they're so cute. I think my favorite one maybe is like the little tombstone down here. I just think it's so cute. I love these. Then kind of in the same vein, same like spooky season fall kind of vein, we have all of these fall stamps. Now, the Happy Fall Y'all stamp, not a personal favorite of mine, but the rest of them I absolutely love. Like the little scarecrow, this pumpkin up here, the leaf. I just love the style of these. They look like they're from the 90s. And that is my favorite vibe for fall. So I was really excited about these. And then, I don't know if these are my favorite ones that I found, but I was also super excited about these. This is a set of 4, what are these things called? Lighthouses? Yeah, 4 lighthouse stamps. I just thought these are so fun. What some of these are like, you know, the other way. These very much make me want to make yet another Anne of Green Gables spread because they're very much like giving me Anne's House of Dreams kind of vibes. If you know, you know. I have already made a spread for Anne's House of Dreams, but I'm like, what if I made another spread? It was like a little lighthouse vibe. Ooh, maybe I should do like my July theme, kind of like for my reading journal, kind of based around that. I feel like that could be kind of fun. So maybe I'll have to do that. This is a great idea. I'm a genius. Okay, so yeah, these are all my stamps that I got today. I was not expecting to buy so many stamps, but now I have a lot of stamps and I love them. Honestly, I like these even more than the stamps that like come in the like silicone sheets and you then can like place them on like an acrylic stamp block. These are so much easier to use. And now I have so many of them. So I had to give you guys my stamp haul. Ooh, also something that has happened since the last time that we talked. My beautiful shelves are up. And I love them. They are not in their final form just yet. I do need to stain them still. I just have not had that in me recently. It has been super hot. We've been having a heat wave as of recent, but I think the weather's gonna break tomorrow. So I think tomorrow morning I'm going to go to my parents' house so I can sand, stain, finish them, and then I can put them back up. Hello, Miss Daisy. Oh, you look so cute. But yeah, love my shelves. Super big fan of my shelves. Did I do a good job at finding the studs in the wall? No. And now there are a couple of holes that maybe don't need to be there. But I'm sure I'll get my security deposit back, right? They're kind of acting as my little gardening plant shelf. So I have like some houseplants on it, obviously. But I also have like nursery pots and gardening utensils and stuff like that. I have some flowers that I picked from the flowers that I planted earlier this week. My zinnias are looking beautiful, but they needed to be deadheaded, so I was able to trim them, and now I have some beautiful flowers for my shelves. But all this other random stuff aside, let me give you some thoughts on Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier because I have started it and I've made some progress. I think I'm on, have I made it this far? I think I'm on page, I don't know, like I moved my bookmark out of here. Ooh, sorry, just read the end of this chapter. I don't think I'd made it to the end of this chapter yet. I think I'm on page like 150. I think I tried to make it halfway last night, and halfway is page 150. But I have been absolutely loving this so far. This, I think I'm liking even more than I was liking Rebecca, honestly. Like, the gothic setting and the gothic tone of the story has been so good so far. There have been so many paragraphs where Daphne du Maurier is describing either like the inn itself or the moors around the inn or like the people that are coming there, and it's all just so spooky and creepy and unsettling, and I'm just like eating it up, honestly. I do feel like this would be the perfect book to read in November. This does, like, at least the first part of it has been taking place in November and December, and it is like the perfect dreary read for that time of year, but I'm also not mad that I'm reading it now because I needed this kind of book in my life. But let me tell you what it's about a little bit. So we're following our main character Mary, whose mother recently passes away, so she is like alone in the world basically. And one of her mother's final wishes was for her to go see her aunt Patience, who lives in Jamaica Inn with her husband. So Mary embarks on the journey to go to Jamaica Inn, but on the way there, people are like, oh, you're going to Jamaica Inn, nobody goes there, and like you really shouldn't be going there, it's no place for a woman, like stuff like that. But obviously, you know, like Mary is going to honor her mother's dying wish and go anyway. So she winds up, she goes there, it's a bit ramshackle, it's a bit, you know, dilapidated, shall we say. And she goes there, her Aunt Patience is there, but her Aunt Patience is acting a little bit weird. She's not the like vibrant, lively, beautiful woman that she once knew. She is very much like a shell of her former self, honestly. And once you meet her husband, it's very clear to see how this change came about, because this man is the worst. Mary's Uncle Joss is like an alcoholic, raging, super mad all the time, abusive piece of crap, honestly. But Mary's a very strong character, honestly. She's very outspoken. She's not afraid to kind of like stand her ground and stand up against her uncle. So she decides to stay there with her Aunt Patience so she can hopefully at some point get both of them out of this situation. But while she's there, she starts to uncover some, you know, illicit activities that may be happening at the inn. She's hearing things in the night, she's seeing things, she has suspicions about what her uncle might be up to. And I've been enjoying the plot so far, especially with Mary as her main character, because she is doing the most to move this plot forward, let me tell you. I really love her as her main character because she is very adventurous, she's very curious, she's always pushing the envelope a little bit to find out more information about what's going on, and she's definitely doing things that I personally would not do. She's always like, you know, sneaking around, following people. I'm like, girl, you are stressing me out. But I appreciate what she's doing for the plot of the story, you know? But my absolute favorite thing about this book is the setting and the writing. Oh my God, Daphne du Maurier's writing in this is absolutely stunning. In like a spooky kind of way, like a gothic spooky way. Not in like a, oh my God, like this writing is beautiful and I feel it in my soul kind of thing. But more so in like a, oh my God, like she's setting the scene so well. The atmosphere is just top tier. And I'm obsessed, honestly. I have been going through, I had to start tabbing things. Like the writing, I was just like, every like couple pages, I was like, this, yes, right here, this. So I've been tabbing because I definitely want to come back to some of these. I even brought up my spiky tabs, which I love using my spiky tabs. They're kind of like my favorite moments, favorite bits of writing throughout the book. And a lot of them are descriptions of Jamaica Inn, descriptions of like, you know, the spooky illicit activities that are happening. Let me find my favorite one in here. I just really, really loved the way that it was written. Where is it? Oh, here it is. This one, I love this one. I'm sorry if you guys don't like it when I like read things out from books. I know some people don't like that, but I like reading things out from books. It says, the wagons looked ghostly in the dim light like hearses, and the men themselves were phantom figures, having no place in the world day by day, but moving silently about the yard as some weird pattern in a nightmare fantasy. There was something horrible about them, something sinister in the shrouded wagons themselves, coming as they did in stealth by night. This night, the impression they left upon Mary was even more lasting and profound, for she now understood the significance of their trade. She's not even describing anything that's like inherently spooky, but like just the way she writes about it, her word choice, it just makes everything so gothic and beautiful. And there have been so many great descriptions of Jamaica Inn as well. Her uncle has definitely let Jamaica Inn fall into disrepair, to put it lightly, honestly. So there's been a lot of emphasis upon like the fading wallpaper and the rotting wood and like the damp that's everywhere. And there's one line in here that says, this place is rotten. rotten right through. So it's like, it's a very sinister establishment. I feel like Jamaica Inn almost becomes a character in and of itself in the story, which is something I really loved about Rebecca as well, which I love a spooky establishment that's like a character almost in the story. So there's a lot of emphasis put upon that as well. I also love the emphasis on how alone and isolated Jamaica Inn is, because not only is it adding to like the creepy, weird atmosphere of the inn itself, but I feel like it's very much mirroring how Mary feels while she's in the inn, and I feel like it's just so well done. All the time we're reminded how like nobody stops at this inn and like nobody would dare go there. And again, it's just adding to the like beautifully crafted atmosphere of this book, and I just love it so much. And I'm just having such a good time reading this book, honestly. I think I like it more than Rebecca at this point, at least, so I'm really interested to see what I think about the second half of this book. I feel like we're going in some interesting directions, shall we say, but even just reading the first half of this book has made me want to read literally everything else that Daphne du Maurier has written. I know not all of her works are as gothic as Rebecca and Jamaica Inn, but I just really love her writing in general. So I've been thinking about what I want to read next. I think I might try some of her short stories next, maybe. I know I really want to read The Birds, and I'm kind of interested to see what else she has there. I also really want to read My Cousin Rachel. That one also sounds like it has like a bit of a like thrillery vibe to it. So lots to think about, but I'm just really excited because I have been loving this so far. Like truly from page one, I was like, oh man, like this is gonna be good. So those are my thoughts on Jamaica Inn so far. I am loving it. Having a great time. And as I said, I'm really hoping I can finish it up today at the least. I would at least like to read my 100 pages today. That is my baseline goal for the day. And if I don't finish the book, I will still finish it tomorrow, even though the challenge ends today, but I want to finish this book and like share final thoughts and stuff with you guys. But I'm really hoping I can finish it today. That's my reach goal right there. So I'm going to get reading because I've been sitting here talking for too long, and I will come back to you guys probably tomorrow with final thoughts, unless I finish it today. Maybe I'll be back later, but like realistically, probably tomorrow. Okay, so it is now the next day and I'm back with a final update for you guys because I have finished my week of trying to read 100 pages a day. I did succeed in my reading of 100 pages yesterday. I just did not succeed in the way I thought I was going to. I was reading a bunch of Jamaica Inn, which I have finished at this point. I finished it up earlier today just so I could like give you final thoughts and stuff on this, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I read like 80 pages of this, and then I realized I was super tired and I really wanted to go to sleep. But I didn't want to fail 2 days out of this challenge. So I decided to do what I suggested I could do in a couple updates ago. And I read Spring Story by Jill Barklam, which is the Spring Brambley Hedge book. These are about 32 pages each, I think. And you know, like obviously it's not exactly really 32 pages, but for me personally and for my challenge, it's good enough. So I read Spring Story. It was super cute, obviously. This one is about a little field mouse whose name is Wilfred, and it is his birthday, and all of the mice of, you know, is the area they're in called Brambley Hedge? I would assume, maybe? But they all throw him a little surprise birthday party picnic. It's so cute. Obviously, my favorite thing about the Brambley Hedge books is the illustration style. I am a sucker for this illustration style. I just think it's so cute, and I have seen most of these illustrations before because I've done like the seasonal Brambley Hedge puzzles, which I also really love. But some of these illustrations I have never seen before. So like I've never seen this one, and I thought it was just so cute. It's just so quaint, and I just love it so much. I never like read the Brambley Hedge books when I was younger. My mom was a big like Peter Rabbit kind of mom, so like obviously I read all of those, but I never read the Brambley Hedge ones when I was younger. But then I discovered the puzzles and I was like, oh my god, these are so freaking cute. I love them. So I'm going on my mission over the year. I think I started maybe in autumn, reading every single one of these in the season. So the only one I have left that I have not read is the Summer Story, which I will read in a couple of weeks now, which will be super fun. But this one was cute. Obviously, they're all really cute. So that's what I finished off my challenge with. But I have finished a longer much longer and more exciting book because I have also finished up Jamaica Inn. And guys, I absolutely loved this. This was so good. And I really went into this expecting to like it, but maybe not to like it quite as much as I have been liking it. I just feel like this book has everything I could possibly want. It's got a stunning gothic atmosphere. We have a strong female lead. There's adventure. There's romance. There's dastardly foes. Truly such a great, thrilling adventure kind of story. And it was just so good. The second half of the book really focused on Mary, you know, like finding out, you know, maybe a little bit more than she wanted to about what exactly is going on at Jamaica Inn. In the first part of the book, like, you know, she kind of knows what's going on, but there's much more to it than meets the eye. And the second half of the book is kind of her, like, you know, digging a little bit deeper, being pulled into it in ways that she never expected and certainly never wanted. And it's about her getting justice and trying to get her and her aunt out of this awful, awful situation that they are in. And I really like the way that this book concluded. I had a lot of questions going into the end of the book, a lot of things that I still wanted to know. There were some high stakes scenarios that we ended up kind of getting pulled into, and it was just an exciting end to the book, honestly. And I like where things left off for Mary. The whole book, obviously she wants to leave Jamaica Inn the whole time, but she can't, you know, like break her mother's dying wish and leave her aunt in this awful situation. So when the book ends and everything kind of gets resolved and she finally gets to choose what she wants to do with her life and she gets to just do it, is really great. And I love that for her because I really loved her as her main character. She was just so outspoken and plucky, honestly. I feel like she was a really great main character to like move the plot along, keep me entertained, keep me rooting for her the whole time. She was just such a confident and capable main character to follow in a story like this, so I just really loved her as her main character. Also, something I found myself really enjoying in this book was the little hint of a romance that was in it. Well, it's a little bit more than a hint. It's not like a main part of the story or anything, but there is a romance and it is talked about on the back of the book. And I actually ended up really liking it. I definitely had like some problems with it that stem mainly from the fact that this is a book written in the 30s and the men have a lot of ideals that very much coincide with the ideals of the 30s, as you would, you know, shocking, I know. So for them being a product of their time, I'm kind of willing to overlook that, but I'm just like choosing to pretend that they didn't say those things. Because I feel like specifically the fantasy romance and like romancy authors, like they were taking notes when they read this book, because the kind of love interest in this book very much feels like a typical morally gray love interest that you could find in like a romantasy book these days. I just found it to be so interesting. There's also this one scene between them. And I swear, like, I feel like you could just pluck this scene out of this book and put it in like any romantasy book and I like wouldn't question it, honestly. There was like a little "who did this to you" moment. There was a little like "if he ever touches you again, I'm gonna kill him" kind of moment. Which like kind of unhinged because like this isn't a supernatural or like fantasy book. And I feel like once you start to take like the "who did this to you" and the like "touch her and you die" kind of thing outside the fantasy space, that's when you're dealing with lunatics. Like if you get that in like a contemporary romance book, like major side eye, you know what I mean? But like in this book, I just found it to be so funny. Like I was cackling when I read those lines. Cause I was like, wait, this seems super familiar, but like also why am I kind of eating it up at the same time? And I feel like she also just had great banter with him, honestly, because she wasn't afraid to put him in his place. Like he would always say just like stupid stuff, honestly. So like while he wasn't the perfect love interest, man had some major flaws, honestly, I was still like rooting for the romance. Definitely like gothic romance, dudes very much like morally gray doing some questionable things, but like not as questionable as like the villains in the story. So you're kind of like, yeah, I kind of get it. But like my favorite thing about this book overall remains Daphne du Maurier's writing. Just her writing in general is stunning, honestly, but like my favorite parts are when she was either describing Jamaica Inn itself or when she was describing the environment around Jamaica Inn. Something I find really interesting about this book is that it's kind of like a creepy, spooky book almost, but there's no ghosties, ghoulies, anything like that. It's not a supernatural book. It's not supposed to be. But the way that Daphne du Maurier describes Jamaica Inn almost imparts this sinister vibe onto Jamaica Inn that makes it feel like you're reading a book that is set in like a haunted house or inn in this scenario. It's not like Jamaica Inn itself is haunted, but it's like haunted by the violence and the gore and the sinister deeds that this group of smugglers has been carrying out in and around Jamaica Inn. And all of these things that have been going on has almost tainted Jamaica Inn with like like the evil doing that's going on. And I absolutely loved that. Like anytime we were talking about like how dilapidated and run down and unsettling Jamaica Inn and how sinister it is, I was like, ooh, that's the good stuff right there. I feel like this paragraph is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It says, she looked up at Jamaica Inn, sinister and gray in the approaching dusk, the windows barred. She thought of the horrors the house had witnessed, the secrets now embedded in its walls, side by side with the other old memories of feasting and firelight and laughter, before her uncle cast his shadow upon it, and she turned away from it, as one turns instinctively from a house of the dead, and went upon the road. Like that's exactly what I mean. It's not haunted by actual spirits. It's haunted by the actions of like evil people, which I absolutely love. Like that is so good. I'm just obsessed with that, honestly. As I said again the other day, I also really love the emphasis on the environment and how much Mary enjoys being outside in nature, on the moors, walking around. There was another thing that I tabbed towards the end here that I also thought really encapsulated that well. It says, the austerity of the moors had been strangely interwoven with the fear and hatred of her uncle and Jamaica Inn. The moors were bleak still and the hills were unfriendly, but their old malevolence had vanished and she could walk upon them with indifference. Like the cold and harsh environment around the inn only like amplified the atmosphere of the inn itself, and it was just so good. Like I loved the writing in this so much. Like I loved the writing, I loved the story. Am I about to talk myself into giving this 5 stars? Because like the more and more that I talk about it, the more I'm like, do I have any notes? Like I don't know if I have any notes on this book, honestly. Am I about to come out of this video with 2 5-star reads? I don't know. I want to think about it a little bit more, but like I don't know if I have anything bad to say about it. I might give it 5 stars. Guys, I seriously might give it 5 stars. I did go ahead, like as soon as I finished this, I did buy another one of Daphne du Maurier's books. I decided to go with Frenchman's Creek, mainly because I wanted the matching edition for this. They have like 3 books that kind of look like this that are written by Daphne du Maurier, and I have Rebecca and Jamaica Inn. And the other one that they did was Frenchman's Creek. And reading this book, especially with it being about smugglers and it focusing on the, you know, illicit activities that they get up to, it really reminded me of pirates. And I was like, you know what? Daphne du Maurier did write a book that involves pirates. So I thought Frenchman's Creek sounded like a good place to go. It's not like, I don't think it's really gothic or anything, but I'm just intrigued to see what I think of that one. So I decided to track down the matching edition that looks like this for Frenchman's Creek. So hopefully I can read that maybe later this summer. I feel like it'd be a good summer read. I don't know that much about it. I'm just assuming since it's like pirates. I don't know. But this is great. I'd love to go like visit Jamaica Inn someday. I also love that it is a real place. Daphne du Maurier did like visit, and she is basing this off of her own personal experiences. So yeah, there is Jamaica Inn. It's really like such a surprise. I didn't think I'd like it this much, but it was just so good. I just enjoyed it so much. With that, we have reached the end of all of the reading that I got up to this week. Now, did I succeed at my challenge of reading 100 pages a day for a week? No. However, I'm super happy with the results of this challenge overall, because the other part of the challenge that I said in the beginning of the video was that I wanted to read all of these books physically. I wanted to dedicate the time each day to sitting down, opening, like cracking the book and like actually reading with my eyeballs, which I did for all of these books. And it's just been so long since I have, you know, been able to dedicate the time to do that, slash have been in the right headspace to do that. So doing that with all of these books over the course of the week has just been so lovely, honestly, and I've been having the best time. And I also found like 2 great books out of it, so that's awesome. I also do feel like I tend to enjoy books a little bit more when I sit down and read them physically, so like maybe that is just like the ultimate proof of that hypothesis. So I could not be happier actually with how this reading challenge went, despite the fact that I did not actually do it all. So let me give you guys a quick recap of everything that I read this week, and then that'll be the end of the video, the very long video. First up, we have my least favorite book of the video, and the one that was making me regret doing this reading challenge in the beginning. And that's A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. I feel like I really should have liked this one, and I just really did not like this one, and that makes me sad. But I am interested to try other books from E.M. Forster. I know some of his other books are a bit on the like sadder side, which I would be kind of intrigued to see how I like those. So like maybe I'll read Howard's End. Did he also write Morris? Try that one too. I don't know. Thoughts, opinions. I think they're very different from this, so maybe I'll still give them a try, but I just didn't like A Room with a View. George, I don't like that man. I don't like that man. Then I read Piranesi by Susanna Clark. As I said, I'm giving this one 5 stars. If you like the Starless Sea, if you like how confusing and odd the Starless Sea is, you should really pick this book up. I am so happy that I finally got around to reading it, and I'm so happy that I really, really loved it. So 5 stars for Piranesi. And guys, I really do think I want to give 5 stars to Jamaica Inn. Like, the more that I sit here and talk about it, the more I just absolutely loved it. Had the best time. Super fun. So yeah, I might give it 5 stars. I feel like it's been a long time since I gave a classic 5 stars, but like this one was just so good. It was surprising. It was entertaining. There were definitely like some scary moments. You're definitely fearing for our characters, but it's got a good conclusion. It was just so good. So I think I'm gonna give Jamaica Inn 5 stars too. Truly don't remember the last time I read 2 5-star books back to back. I can't remember the time. So yeah, there's just great. And then I also read Spring Story. Super cute, super fun. So is that all I have to say? They're super fun, but so yeah, these are the 4 books that I read this week. Obviously, I would love to know if you guys have read any of these books. What did you think of them? Did you like a couple of these as much as I did? Let's talk about it. Or if you haven't read any of these, I would just like to know what you guys have been reading recently. What have you been up to? Let me know. I hope you guys have enjoyed this vlog. I've had such a fun time filming it, and I definitely want to do more reading challenges over, you know, the course of the year. I was gonna say over the course of the summer, but I'm not going back to school, so I can really do reading challenges throughout the rest of the year. So if you have any specific reading challenges that you like, let me know. Let me know which ones you think I should do. But with all that being said, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all having an amazing Monday or whatever day it is that you happen to be watching this video. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye.